Hey everybody, Coach Willem here from Restored Strength, and we're going to be going over our new warm-up. So starting the beginning of this quarter, we're going to be doing a new warm-up, and we're going to be introducing some new ideas throughout it. So we're going to begin with foam rolling. That stays the same, but we're going to be hitting different areas. So we're going to begin with foam rolling the inner thigh, which is called your adductor. So starting with the foam roller outside of your knee, you're going to raise your hip over and get your inner thigh. From that position, what you want to do is you want to go onto your elbows, and you're going to rock your hips from side to side here, going throughout that inner thigh muscle. If you want to create more tension, raise your foot up slightly. That way you can get more into that area. You can stretch that leg out, or you can bend that knee. Again, play around with your different positions to see what feels best for you. We're going to be doing that for 30 seconds. Then we're going to go onto our knee, switch over to the other side, and same thing there. So again, I have the inner thigh going over the side of the foam roller here. And as I'm foam rolling, I want to make sure that the foam roller is in a vertical position, meaning it's going upright rather than wide. That way I can get into the inner thigh. As soon as I've done 30 seconds on each side, grabbing my foam roller, placing it slightly above my knees, keeping onto my elbows, I'm going to be rolling upwards and downwards. And so as I'm going through this, I want to make sure that I'm pulling my belly button up towards the ceiling, and also that I'm pulling myself up and down, gradually going through this motion, starting slightly above the knee, going up to as far as I can comfortably on the thigh. Once 30 seconds is done there, I'm going to go back to my knees. I'm going to grab my roller, and then I'm just going to turn it behind me. And so from here, what I can do is focusing in on the glutes, where I'm going to shift my weight onto one side here, and I'm just going to gently roll up and down. If I have the mobility available, the hip that I'm rolling on is the knee that raises up. And so I want to transfer my weight over onto this side. Now let's say we're too tight or we're not able to get to this position. Having the knees bent and shifting your weight to the side is going to work good enough. Same thing, we're going to switch to the opposite side. Now that I'm on my left side, I'm going to have my knee bent over to this direction. Once 30 seconds are up, we're going to move into the upper back. So I want to start with that foam roller underneath my rib cage, have my hands behind my head, slightly raise my hips up, and I'm going to gradually pull myself up and down throughout this motion, going all throughout my upper back, going over those shoulder blades to the top of the shoulders, rolling up and down from this position. As soon as those 30 seconds are up, I'm going to move into my lats, and that's going to be slightly below the armpit onto the ribs. And from that position there, I'm going to have my left knee bent as I turn over to the right side, and gradually using both my legs to move myself upwards and downwards. And let's say that this movement gets to be too challenging, where moving my body is too hard. I can just hang out and just slowly turn and twist just onto those lats. So I'm going to do 30 seconds here, bend my right knee, turn over to the left side. From this position, pushing my right foot into the floor, gradually pulling myself up and down, pushing into the floor. Same thing here. If that's too challenging, I can just hang out, I can twist and turn, and I'm going from the side of my ribs slightly below my armpit. Now, once those 30 seconds are over, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to move my roller to the side. I'm going to push it down, and then I'm going to scoot myself down so that my hips are in line with the box. We're going to move into our elevated box breathing. And so what I want to do here is I want to grab my blue pad and prevent my dowel from falling. I'm going to place it behind my head and then scoot my butt down so it's either just in line with the box or it's just slightly away from it. I'm going to have my feet elevated onto the wall, grabbing my yoga block. I'm going to be squeezing my thighs together, having the blue pad underneath my head. I'm going to lower my chin down. From this position, now I'm going to just slightly pull my heels down so I can feel the back of my hamstrings, just gently pulling. And from there, squeezing the block, and I'm going to inhale through my nose and just slightly breathe out through my mouth. Inhale through my nose and slightly breathe out through my mouth. As I'm holding this position, what I want to feel for is my heel, big toe, and outer edge of my foot pushing against the wall. As I'm breathing. And so as I'm holding this position, it's just a light, ever so lightly raise up of the hips, the tension throughout the back of the legs, and the inhaling through the nose and breathing out through the mouth while I'm pushing my feet into the wall. And after about 1.5 minutes of breathing, we're going to begin to transition into our OS resets. And so the OS resets are going to help us with getting our nervous system woken up. We're going to get our vestibular system reset, and it's going to allow us to prepare for movement. So we're going to move into some head nods and head rotations. So the first thing is head nods. The most important part here is letting your eyes direct where your head is going. So I'm on my hands and knees. My eyes are looking down to the floor. My eyes are looking up through the room, raising up high, tucking my chin down, letting my head pull down, pulling my head back, raising my chin up. Again, I'm letting my eyes direct where I'm going here. So I'm staring and keeping in contact with everything that I'm seeing. From there, we're going to go into our head rotations. Same thing here. I'm scanning the room. I'm letting my eyes direct where the movement is going. So my eyes will move at the same rate that my head is moving into. That way I can look all throughout the room. From that position there, we're going to have our toes into the ground, knees slightly wide. I'm going to rock into my hips, then push forward, keeping a tall and tight position, feeling the weight going into the palms. As I'm reaching those hips back, I want to make sure that my weight is onto my hands and my belly button's pulled towards the ceiling. As soon as 30 seconds of rocking is up, we're going to wrap up with cross crawling, keeping tall and tight, getting that opposite arm, opposite leg to touch. Now, if you want to progress, you can have your knee to elbow. Now, the last section of the warm-up, we're going to be using the TRX to help us prepare for movement. So this is movement prep, and what this is going to allow for us to do is practice big movements like pushing, pulling, squatting, and hinging. These are movements that we do throughout each workout, and what we want to do is we want to take time to start teaching you these fundamental movements and just get better at moving. And so we're going to start with the TRX chest press. I'm going to have one foot forward, one leg back. From this position, my back leg is on its toe. From here, I'm going to lower myself down. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to pause. 1, 2, then press up at a 1 count. And I'm going to repeat again for 4 reps total. I'm going to start going down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 1, 2. Press up. Then I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to have my right foot forward with a right knee bend. My back toe is up on the floor, is off. My back left heel is off the floor. My left toe is in the ground. And then I'm going to repeat. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2. Press up. Now, if I wanted to make this a little bit more challenging, we're not trying to work out, we're trying to move the body. And so if we wanted to make this a little bit more challenging, we can go up on both toes back. Same thing, going at a 4 count down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 1, 2. Press back up. That's how you can make it more progressive that way. We're going to be doing 4 reps total. As soon as we're done there, we're going to turn over and go into our TRX rows. So from this position, I'm going to lower myself down, and then from here, I'm going to pull up and hold. 1, 2, then lower myself down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll up. 1, 2, then lower myself down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping in a tall and tight position, my shoulders and shoulder blades should be down and wide. So then that way when I'm going down, those shoulders keep that position and my elbows just lengthen. 4 reps, 4 seconds down. As soon as we're done there, we're going to go into our squats. So we're going to walk back slightly. We're going to have our feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to be tall and tight. From here, I'm going to begin to reach my hips back and widen out my knees. Going down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into the floor and stand tall. So I'm again starting tall and tight, lowering myself down. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to hold. 1, 2. Drive up and repeat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 1, 2. Drive up. We're going to repeat that for 4 reps. Then lastly, going into our hip hinge. So from here, I'm going to have my feet just outside of hip width. I'm going to have a little bend in my knee. From that position, I'm going to begin to reach my hips back as my chest falls forward. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 1, 2. Drive up and repeat. Tall and tight. Bend the knee. Reach those hips back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 1, 2. And drive tall. With that, we're going to be doing 4 reps as well. As soon as we're done with those hip hinges, we're going to begin the workout.